I understand that Toronto was just eliminated last night, but I feel like it's a good time to make a sales pitch to Mitch Marner on signing in Vancouver when his contract comes due on July the 1st. And he may be looking at whether or not to re-sign in Toronto and all these other places, but I want to make the sales pitch for Vancouver. So we'll start at the top of the board here because there's 10 reasons. I want to come up with 10 reasons why he should sign in Vancouver. Pay no attention to the fact the numbers are in the Calgary font. Media attention. There is slightly less media pressure and scrutiny in Vancouver than Toronto. Doesn't slightly less sound better than more? Does it sound better than none? Because there are some that are gonna be gunning for your talents where you won't get much at all, if any. And how much fun is that? I mean, you want some criticism, right? Some kind of, you get ready for the game. You're like, this journalist says that I'm terrible at my job. Let's go. Let's do this. So there's that. It's a little bit less than Toronto, just a fraction. Now the good news is that when the criticism comes out, since you'll be in Vancouver, all of it goes to Pettersson. No matter what happens, if you cough up the puck in your own zone and it goes in the net, guaranteed somebody's gonna say, "I understand Marner took that over or turned that over, but where was Pettersson in that situation? Come on, Petey, you got to be better." It's magic. Every single thing that's wrong in Vancouver is Pettersson's fault. So you don't have to worry. You've got a honeymoon period of probably at least 2 years. We don't lose in Game 7 every year in Vancouver. No, we lose in Game 7s occasionally, but we also don't make the playoffs every year. So odds are your schedule just opened up just a little bit earlier. So you're welcome. Also, there's no real sunburn risk in Vancouver from about October till June. Sometimes it's from September till June. Now, a lot of people complain about the rain and all that, but honestly, isn't it nice not having to worry about sunburns for most of the year? Raise your hand. Yeah, everybody put their hand up. It's nice. So it's very nice. And the good news is we moved down to number 5. Marchand's in the East. Yeah, Brad Marchand. I understand that you're probably, seeing him around every street corner and is that Marchand? That Marchand? No, Marchand is in the East. And even though he's an unrestricted free agent this summer, odds are he probably stays in the East. I would think and if in fact you agree to sign in Vancouver, I will make sure Marchand stays in the East. I have that kind of pull. Also, blue. You've been wearing blue in Toronto for a long time. You'd still be wearing blue in Vancouver. Not so difficult to figure out which ones your teammates are, is it? Because you'd be like, hey, that guy's wearing blue and it's my teammate. It's so much easier than if you go to a team where they're red or it's black or it's like, oh, I don't know. And if you want, we can do away with the third jersey. I know there's some Canuck fans who are going to be mad about that, but it's Mitch Marner. So it's an easy transition also from a Canadian Maple Leaf to Canuck, which is slang term for Canadian. It is really, honestly, a Maple Leaf is a gateway to becoming a Canuck. It absolutely is. So that, to me, is a big positive. Also, we're on the ocean. Some will say that that's the Strait of Juan de Fuca or whatever, Georgia Strait, all these other straits. But the reality is, if it's salt water, it's ocean water. Yeah, that's the science. So there you go. And I guess even that, that lake too is still, it's if there's salt in it, it's the ocean. There are tiny oceans and big oceans. I'm getting sidetracked by the oceans. So we're right on the ocean. It's kind of nice. You go out, you lose a game. The next morning, you go to the ocean and you hang out, and it's fine. You're in Stanley Park. There's oceans. Don't feed the coyotes. And it's really, really nice. Also, if you have small children, keep them away from the coyotes. Also, I've noticed that the Toronto Maple Leafs seem to have this psychiatric issue that happens in the playoffs. They psych themselves out, as it were. And in Vancouver, don't worry about it. The psychiatric help is needed in Vancouver during the regular season, and so it's done earlier, right? It's kind of nice to have all the psychiatric stuff done usually by January. Vancouver started to figure it out, whereas of course in Toronto it's been May. May's been the month, and Vancouver's not normally playing in May, so I think that's a benefit to everybody that we do not have. I go back to the losing in Game 7 thing. Very, very glad that doesn't happen locally every year. Our jerseys are normally also on the ice in November. Normally, if fans are going to throw jerseys on the ice in Vancouver, it's October, November, maybe December, although you may not want to throw that jersey on the ice. You might be regifting it to somebody for Christmas because you don't want it anymore, but you're like, well, somebody might as well have it, and I forgot to get George a present, so here, George. And then George gets mad because he knows it's your old jersey and it's even got the same stains on it. You're like, I don't know, that must just be a jersey. Maybe that's just how they made them this year. And basically, you do not have to worry about jerseys being on the ice come playoff time because Canucks usually aren't in the playoffs. And bad time. Who doesn't want to go to bed earlier, right? So if you're playing on the East Coast, the last games of the night might end at like 1 o'clock in the morning, and you've been going through that in Toronto for how many years? Yeah, you come to Vancouver, the last game starts at 7:30 at night, might be over at 10. Bam, your head hits the pillow. You're good. You don't have to worry about curfews. You don't have to worry about being tired in the morning. And my understanding is if you want to have a bit of a nightlife experience, Vancouver might have a little bit of a nightlife, although I wouldn't recommend it. It seems to be how players get in trouble. Anyways, so that being said, those are the 10. Now there is one small large issue. First off, there won't be tax breaks, but that's okay. That's okay. That's all right. Because you're probably going to have to take less money to play in Vancouver. So the way it works is, sure, you could sign with a team based in Florida and get a whole bunch of money up front and not have to worry about the taxes. Or you can get less money in Vancouver, probably pay about the same in taxes because you're making a lot less, and you're on the ocean in Vancouver where you don't have to worry about being sunburned. In Florida, you kind of have to worry about the sunburn year round. And just think about the costs of all of that sunscreen. I think it balances out. I think 3-4 million a year on sunscreen, it's probably about what players are paying down in Florida. And so by signing for 3 or 4 million less in Vancouver, you don't have to worry about the sunscreen quite so much. So I'm hoping that my sales pitch works. I would love to see Mitch Marner join the Vancouver Canucks and become one of the many that do get criticized locally. But you won't be number one. I don't even know if you'll be number 2 on the criticized list. I think Tyler Myers kind of has that locked down. So think about it. Think it over. Have your agent call the Canucks and then have the Canucks thank me. So there you go. Mitch Marner, future Vancouver Canuck.